The rebound in oil quotes was temporary, as expected. Volatility in commodity markets is still high. The previous trading day is proof of that. Oil prices regained upside momentum and approached three-year highs. The reason is the same: energy crisis in Europe. Of course, oil prices will hardly show impressive growth again. Once the quotes exceed the highest values of the last 3 years, the market will most likely pull back. Thus, your trading strategy should be based on this assumption. Yesterday, Brent crude oil futures completed a correction and then showed mixed dynamics in choppy trading. Thus, in one day, the quote first slipped below the psychological mark of $80 per barrel and then surged to its previous highs. As a result, Brent crude added more than 5% to settle at the level of $83 per barrel. According to analysts, the benchmark is likely to enter a technical correction. Probably the price will not rise above $83 per barrel. As for WTI crude futures, the situation is similar. A decline in value was followed by a sharp rally to the previously gained positions. In just 12 hours, WTI crude oil managed to inch up by $4. The price returned to the local high of $79.50 per barrel. However, the quote is unlikely to stay firm at this level. Experts believe that the benchmark will pull back down to the area of $77 a barrel. Meanwhile, the situation in the foreign exchange market is rather interesting. Yesterday, the Russian currency unexpectedly gained in value to a 4-month high. This came as a surprise to many investors, as there were no prerequisites for such dynamics. The oil price rally can hardly be a reason. Moreover, macroeconomic indicators are also far from positive. Therefore, the only real factor of the ruble's strength is speculation. Speculative trading activity spurs an increase in the Moscow Exchange Index. This results in a speculative bubble that will eventually burst later. Thus, the ruble is expected to pull back to its previous positions, and what's worse is that the Russian currency may suffer steep losses. In the meantime, the dollar-ruble pair broke out of the corridor and came close to the local low posted on June 11, as well as the level of 71.55. Since there are no real preconditions for the strengthening of the Russian ruble, analysts doubt that the currency will continue moving in an upward trend. As soon as speculative interest begins to fade away, the Russian currency will lose upside momentum. To extend gains, the ruble needs to fix below the level of 71.50. Otherwise, the pair will most likely return to the upper borders of its corridor, 72.50 to 73.50. Speaking of the euro-ruble pair, the situation is stable. The quotes are steadily moving in a downtrend, hitting new local lows. Currently, the pair is trading around the level of 83. One of the indicators shows that the euro is extremely oversold. This means that sooner or later, the price will pull back and enter a technical correction of 3–5%. It's obvious that the current situation in the currency and commodity markets depends on speculative activity. Oil prices are heading towards new heights, and the whole thing with shortages and panic requires effective solutions. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.